Have you ever wondered what makes you, you? This question might seem philosophical, but the answer is actually quite scientific. It's all about cells, the fundamental building blocks of life. Every living organism, from the smallest bacterium to the largest whale, is composed of cells. They're the smallest unit of life, yet they carry out an astounding array of functions. They provide structure for the body, take in nutrients from food, convert those nutrients into energy, and carry out specialized functions. Cells also have a crucial role in maintaining life. They reproduce to create new cells, allowing growth and repair. They communicate with each other, orchestrating complex processes like the immune response, and they die, making way for new cells that keep the body healthy. In other words, cells are the unsung heroes of life. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, making life possible. Without cells, life as we know it simply wouldn't exist. Our understanding of cells didn't just appear overnight. Instead, it gradually unfolded over centuries, sparked by a handful of curious minds. Picture the year 1665, a time when the mysteries of life were mostly uncharted territories. It was then that an English polymath, Robert Hooke, took a closer look at a thin slice of cork. In his primitive microscope, Hooke saw tiny empty spaces contained by walls. He likened these spaces to the tiny rooms or cells of a monastery, and so he coined the term cell. But what Hooke was actually observing were dead plant cells, their living contents long gone. Despite this, his discovery was groundbreaking. For the first time, a component of life had been visualized, and the path to further exploration was paved. Fast forward a few decades to the late 17th century. Enter Antony van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch tradesman with a knack for lens making. Leeuwenhoek mastered the art of creating powerful microscopes, far superior to those of his contemporaries. With this tool at his disposal, he peered into a droplet of pond water, and what he found was astonishing. He discovered a bustling world of tiny animalcules, as he called them. Today we know them as bacteria, the smallest forms of life. Leeuwenhoek's discovery shook the scientific community to its core. It revealed that life existed in forms far smaller and more numerous than anyone had dared to imagine. These early breakthroughs in the observation of cells laid the groundwork for what would later become known as cell theory. The work of Hooke and Leeuwenhoek, among others, demonstrated that life was not a singular unbroken mass, but a complex mosaic of individual cells. As they peered into their microscopes, these pioneers were gazing into a new world. Their discoveries marked the dawn of cell theory, a pivotal moment in the understanding of life as we know it. From this point forward, the study of cells would forever change our perception of the living world, leading us on a path of endless discovery. And so, the dawn of cell theory was upon us. As they peered into their microscopes, these pioneers were gazing into a new world. Fast forward to the 19th century, and cell theory starts to take shape. In an era of scientific awakening, two brilliant minds, Matthias Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, made groundbreaking contributions that laid the foundations of modern cell theory. Matthias Schleiden, a German botanist, was the first to recognize that plant tissues are composed of a multitude of individual cells. His observations, published in 1838, were a game changer. Around the same period, Theodor Schwann, a German physiologist, was studying animal tissues. Schwann recognized the similarities between the structures of plant and animal tissues, leading him to conclude that all living things are composed of cells. This was a monumental insight, and in 1839, Schwann published his findings, marking a significant milestone in cell biology. This brings us to the three basic principles of cell theory, principles that are as relevant today as they were nearly 2 centuries ago. Firstly, all living organisms are composed of cells. Whether we're talking about a towering oak tree, a microscopic bacterium, or a human being, every life form is a complex assembly of these tiny biological units. Secondly, the cell is the basic unit of life. It's the smallest entity that can perform all the functions necessary for life. Cells breathe, they eat, they grow, and they reproduce. They're like tiny factories, bustling with activity. Lastly, cells arise only from pre-existing cells. This principle, known as biogenesis, contradicts the ancient belief in spontaneous generation. the idea that life could emerge from non-living matter. These principles, simple as they may seem, revolutionized our understanding of life. Cells may be tiny, but they are far from simple. In fact, these microscopic structures are bustling hubs of activity, each functioning like a mini city. Imagine, if you will, a bustling metropolis where each building, each road, each park has a unique role in keeping the city alive and thriving. That's a cell for you? Let's delve into some of the key components of a cell. First up, we have the nucleus, the control center of the cell. It's where our DNA resides, providing the blueprints for all the cell's functions. Then there's the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, producing the energy it needs to carry out its duties. And let's not forget the endoplasmic reticulum, the cell's transport system, ensuring that proteins and lipids get to where they need to be. Now, not all cells are created equal. There are two main types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells, like bacteria, are relatively simple. They don't have a nucleus or other specialized structures. But eukaryotic cells, like those found in plants and animals, are a different story. They have a nucleus and a plethora of specialized structures, each with a specific function. But the complexity doesn't stop there. Within a single organism, you'll find a diverse array of cells, each specialized for a specific task. Take the human body, for instance. There are nerve cells that transmit signals, muscle cells that contract and relax, red blood cells that ferry oxygen around the body, and many, many more. All these components, all these functions, all these types of cells working in harmony to support life. It's like a symphony, with each instrument playing its part to create a beautiful piece of music. But instead of notes and melodies, it's molecules and reactions. It's biology in action, a testament to the sheer complexity and beauty of life at its most fundamental level. Each cell in its own right is a marvel of nature's engineering. Cells do more than just exist, they perpetuate life. In the grand theater of life, cells play the lead role. They are the understudies, the stagehands, and the audience all rolled into one. They are the harbingers of life, the torchbearers of existence. They don't merely live, they ensure life continues. How, you might ask? The answer lies in the process of cell division. Cells divide and multiply, a function so fundamental that without it, life as we know it would cease to exist. Intriguing, isn't it? This division happens constantly, millions and millions of times every single second in every living organism on Earth. Let's delve a bit deeper into this fascinating process. The cell division process is of two types, mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is the everyday hero of cell division. It's the process by which our bodies grow, heal, and replace cells that have lived their natural lifespan. In mitosis, a single cell divides to produce two identical daughter cells, each a perfect replica of the original. Then we have meiosis, the architect of diversity. Unlike mitosis, meiosis gives rise to cells that are not identical to the parent cell. Instead, they have half the number of chromosomes. These cells, known as sex cells or gametes, are crucial for sexual reproduction. When two gametes unite, they create a new, unique individual, ensuring genetic variety and the continuation of species. It's a beautiful dance, isn't it? A dance that's been performed for billions of years, one that sustains all life on our planet. From the smallest microorganism to the largest mammal, each owes its existence to these processes, and so in every cell lies the promise of life. The promise that life in its myriad forms and colors will continue. The promise that the symphony of existence will keep playing, one note at a time, one cell at a time. Through these processes, life continues its unbroken chain, one cell at a time. So, why should we care about cells? Well, let's take a moment to recap. Cells, these microscopic building blocks, serve as the foundation for all living things. They're not just tiny blobs under a microscope, but intricate machines, bustling with activity. From the dawn of cell theory to our modern understanding, we've uncovered that cells are complex powerhouses, performing functions that keep us alive, from producing energy to fighting off diseases. They're the silent heroes of our bodies, working round the clock to keep the machinery of life running smoothly. Cells also offer us invaluable insights into the continuity of life. They divide, multiply, and adapt, embodying the very essence of evolution. They are the bookkeepers of our genetic heritage, passing on traits from one generation to the next. Cells, tiny as they may be, hold the secrets of life itself. They are, in every sense, the essence of being.